So today we're going to be talking about the mental game. In my opinion, I think it's one of the most important parts of baseball, and it's something that most people don't talk about. They're always talking about mechanics. They're talking about the tools. They're talking about skills. They're talking about instructions from trainers, hitting, throwing. They're always talking about, the physical things. But I believe that if your mind is strong, then you can just pass people, because baseball is mainly mental. And the higher you go up, it's about your athleticism, but it's also about who's stronger mentally. And the kids that do well, you don't have to have the best swing. You don't have to have the most power. You don't have to be the fastest, but if you have a strong mind, you're going to dominate and pass players. I'm telling you this from past experience, even including myself. I wasn't the strongest. I wasn't the fastest. But I was strong mentally, and that allowed me to keep passing players. So I'm going to share with you what I know, and I'm going to share with you a few things players said to me, and I'm going to share with you a story that my parents told to me that allowed me to keep going in my mental game, and something that clicked for me that I think you could share to your kid as well, so that they could get results. Okay, so enough talking, let's jump into it. As we all know, baseball is more mental than physical. The game is tough mentally, and sometimes it can become even harder because the little guy in your head starts fighting you nonstop. And when that little guy starts pushing its agenda on you, it tends to create self-doubt, confidence issues, putting pressure on yourself, and a whole lot of other issues that lead to poor performance. The goal of the player is to silence that little guy in their head. And when a player gets good at silencing that little guy, they will leave other players behind. They will reach their full potential and dominate in the game of baseball. So how could you as a parent help your kid with their mental game? I actually sent this to a friend. He played in the big leagues with the A's, the Rangers. He played in several organizations, and this was his response. He said, to be 100% completely honest with you, the best way a parent can help their player with the mental game is to have them both consult with the former player like me and you. He's talking about me too, who have been through it. Obviously, some pro players were more talented and got by without tapping into the mental side of the game. But if they can connect with a guy like you and I who has played, that would be the best thing to do. And I wanted to add that just because he's correct. And this is what I work with my guys on at my academy, and even more so in one-on-one lessons. And it's helping the kids 1000%, because we get to connect with them in a way that, most people can't connect with them. So if you have a chance of going to an instructor that's played, definitely do, go there and let him and sit down with the instructor. Tell him what you want. Tell him, hey, he's struggling mentally. And the player's going to have an idea how to accomplish that. So that's great advice. And let's keep it going. So now let's say you do not want to do that. Well, you could, and I'm going to share with you a quick story. So this is a story you can share to your kid. This one that my dad told me, and it like helped me out a ton in my game. It was just very vivid, very clear, and I'm going to share it to you right now. When I was younger, I would struggle with the mental game. You're a kid that aspires to play pro. You aspires to play at the college level. So you get down on yourself. You push yourself too hard. You get upset because you strike out. Because if you see the pro players, they're getting so much success, and, you think that's what you have to have every single time to get that result. So, you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself, and you're getting upset if you make an error, if someone hits a home run off you or whatever. Like it's just human emotions at the younger age. And, my dad seen that happening, and my dad said to me, he said, hey, because where we grew up, I walked to school. He said, hey, when you're walking to school and you have your backpack, you see a lot of rocks, don't you? And, because there's paths, you're going down the sidewalk, and you might have to go to a little field, and then you're on your way, and then the school's right there on your right hand side. And I was like, yeah, and I'm a young kid. And he goes, there's a lot of rocks right there, right? And what do you do when you walk to school? You just walk right past those rocks, right? And I said, yeah, I shook my head. And he goes, those rocks are your strikeouts. Those walks are your errors. Those walks are all the things that happen that you consider bad in baseball. And he says, right now you're walking to school and the rock is right there. Say you struck out, you're grabbing that rock and you're putting it in your backpack. And then you're going up a little bit farther and you make an error and you're grabbing that rock and put it in your backpack. He says, if you keep going this way, by the time you get to school, you're going to be falling on your back and you won't be able to move forward. And he says, isn't that right? And I was like, yeah. He goes, see, what you need to do is exactly what you do every single day. You just walk past that rock. So when you make an error, just keep walking. If you're strike out, just keep walking. He said, and next thing you know, you'll reach your destination because you leave everything behind you. And that's how you should go about baseball. And when he said that story to me, it just clicked. I started to understand it. He gave me a clear picture of what I should do as far as my mental game. And, at that moment, I got it. And, and then, it takes a little bit of time to get it, but I got it. And then I started working on it. And sure enough, that's what allowed me to be successful in baseball, because the best players in this game forget really quickly. I'm going to say it again. If you're trying to be successful in baseball, you need to be able to forget really quickly. The ones that struggle hold on to all their failures, though. If they're not even failures, but that's what they hold on to. So the sooner, the quickest way to be successful in baseball is to walk past those rocks. And that's a story you can share to your kid. They'll understand it no matter what age, and it gets your point across. And that will allow them to, be successful in this game, because you're going to make errors. You're going to strike out. You're going to give up hits. You're going to have bad outings. It's part of it. But the whole key is, how can you bounce back? Can you keep going? If you can quickly keep going when things are going bad, you're going to be successful in this game. And what happens is, and I've been on the road, a lot of guys hold on to everything. They go 0 for 4 with 3 Ks, or they strike out their first at bat, and then their whole game is over. They've held on to that strikeout, and now they can't even hit for the rest of the game. They're just holding on to it. Once I started learning, once my dad told me that story, I got it, and I'll strike out, and I'm like, that's it. It happened. Let's go. He ain't going to give me my next at bat. And I literally would say that. He ain't going to give me my next at bat. I'm going to get him. And I already moved past the strikeout, and I'm already looking forward to getting up my next at bat, and I just spent it into a positive instead of being negative. And that quick mental shift allowed me to crush it in this game and move past people. So I'm going to share with you some more stuff too. As I said before, the little guys in your head starts to create self-doubt, confidence issues, putting pressure on yourself, and a whole lot of other issues. But here is the thing: confidence, self-doubt, and all other issues associated with the little guy in your head can be conquered. And this is how I kept the little guy in check and dominate on the field. As I got higher, you start playing with guys that are really good. So, it's not like hearing the story, that helped me out a ton because it put things in perspective. But you still got to work towards it. It's not something that just shuts off. You still got to work towards it. So the thing that I'm going to share with you now, something that I am truly a big believer in, and it's something that I believe you should start teaching your kid. And if you're a part of my academy, if you're a part of my one-on-one lessons, this is what I do with them. I take them through this whole process step by step and walk them through it. But I'm going to give it to you as well right now. But we go more in depth, especially in the the player secrets. If you get the player secrets, we go way in depth on this and explain point by point how do you do this. But as of right now, I'm gonna give it to you. You could take it and you can also do it and help your kid as well. So the first thing you want to do is you want to write down all the things that your kid does well on the field. Oh, by the way, I use this. This is my formula. This is my philosophy, and this worked like nothing else for me. Like this is my thing, and I truly believe in it. And it's going to get your kid results if you take the time and do this. And I'll explain. You're going to get it all right now. I'm explaining everything. So write down all the things that your kid does well on the field and all the things that you and your kid will work on as a player. If you don't have a pen or a pencil and a paper, go get it right now. Write it down. Write down all the things your kid does well on the field and all the things that you and your kid will work on as a player. Use words like I am and I will. Words, strong, direct words. For example, I am statements and strong words. I am a power hitter. I crush pitchers. I always hit runners when they are in scoring position. I always hit them in. I am a leader on my team. I play the game hard. I give everything on the field. I am strong-minded. I'm the best pitcher on my team. I consistently throw strikes. You see what I'm doing right there? I'm using I am, and those are strong words. And the way I'm saying it, that means a lot as well. You have to say it, and I'm going to get more into this, but when you say it, you have to say it like you mean it. You can't just say, I am a power hitter. That does nothing to your emotions. See, what happens as a player with the little guy in your head, what they do, that little guy changes your emotions, changes your feelings to start thinking bad. Then everything else starts happening on the field bad. So what you got to do is change that emotion, change those feelings. And the way you do that is you have to say it out loud. So you can't just say, you can't even think it like this. You can't go, and just say, I am a power hitter. You can't even say it like this. I am a power hitter. You need to be like, I am a power hitter. You see how I said it and you can feel it, that's what you want, because then it changes your state and that's how you get the results you want. So this is something I learned over my career, and oh my God, this thing paid big dividends. This is like my best thing, mental game wise. So, what you want to do is I will statements as well. I will be a consistent hitter. Let's say that you're not a consistent hitter, or you're working towards being a consistent hitter or a power hitter or fast or whatever. This is what you're going to have to say. I will be a consistent hitter. I will run faster. I will be recruited to a D1 college. I will be drafted. I will increase my throwing velocity. I will increase my exit velocity. You see, the way I'm saying it is strong, determined. And what you want to do is you want to write this all down. Mine is literally 2 pages worth of stuff. It's like, I am an MLB player. I am the best player on my team. I'm literally going through it point by point by point. And I sat down, and it's something you have to sit down and think about. And if you have a young kid, sit down with them and have them write it down with you. This could be a bond between you two. So sit down, you write this stuff out. You write your I am statements and other strong words and statements, such as I consistently throw strikes. You see how I use that? It's not an I am statement, but I consistently, it's like this is who I am. That's the stuff you want to say. And you want to write this all down and create a long list, a paragraph of things of who you are and all the things you're going to work on as a player. I then record an audio of myself on my phone reading off everything I just wrote down. So everything you wrote down, you record the audio saying it, and you got to say it like I told you. I am a power hitter. I am a consistent hitter, and just read it off. Now, here is one of 2 most important parts. I listen to that audio of myself telling myself that I am good, that I am great. And you got to listen to it when you wake up in the morning, midday, or before a game, and just before bed. That becomes who you are and what you stand for. And you are listening to yourself tell yourself how good you are. And while you're listening to yourself agree, like you're going to agree, and you start to believe it because you're telling yourself positive self-talk. What this does is it applies your mind, your mental game with the nutrients it needs to prosper. By giving yourself all this positive self-talk, you dominate the little guy in your head and create that positive body image of yourself as a player. This allows you to be present as a player on the field. And most importantly, the player on the paper becomes who you are as a player. So since you're saying it to yourself, that becomes your mission statement, whoever you are as a player. And then that starts to surface because you start working towards, you know exactly what you need to work on and what you will work on. And you know exactly who you are as a player. And what happens when you're frustrated, when you're doubting yourself, is that you forget who you are as a player. You forget what you do well. Well, this keeps it in check because you consistently tell yourself how good you are every single day. And this, it keeps that confidence up. And it conquers that confidence. Okay. And it's your voice telling yourself. So I just sit down with, some headphones and, I just listen to myself, tell myself man, you are the man. I am the best player on this team. And I visualize, I see myself out there being the man. I drive runners in. The whole crowd's going crazy. I can see the crowd, everyone screaming my name. You know what I mean? I hit a guy in, like I'm seeing myself do it over and over and over. And that becomes who I am as a player. Now, when you listen to it, nod your head and agree. Visualize yourself making the plays. See, as humans, we are blessed that we can see things happen before they do. So visualize your success. So like I said, when you're listening to yourself say, I throw strikes consistently, then see yourself pounding the zone, low in, low and away. See yourself pounding it up and away. This is stuff that you could do with your kids. Talk to them, sit down with them, explain to them, write it all down. And then it's something that you can share with them because like I said, you're giving your mental game its food. What happens is, that little guy in your head starts talking. It gets louder and louder and louder. So the only way to conquer that little guy is positive self-talk. And you have to say it out loud. You can't just think it. It has to be out loud. It changes your state. And that changes that state. That's the fruit it needs so that you can be walking out on the field with that positive body language, that image of yourself. And that's how players at the highest level get the results that they are because they know who they are. They're confident in what they do. And so this allows you to learn what you do well and, go on, prosper. So, let's keep it going. So now the second most important thing is, let's say that the little guy comes back when you're on the field. It's going to come back, and you gotta, now, let me answer this. So when you're on the field, you have the weapon to combat the little guy in your head. Now you just say the things you have written. So you've written all this stuff down. Eventually you're going to start listening to it. You're going to remember it. And then you just say it out in the field. So if that little guy comes up, you say it out loud and it just smacks that little guy. And now you're in control. And you're present in the game instead of letting that little guy get you, and then you lose you lose your presence, and then you get scared or you start feeling that fear. But when you start speaking out loud, you dominate it and you become present and confident, and then you be aggressive. You're not holding back. You're playing to your full potential. Okay. But here's the kicker. You have to say it out loud. I said that. See, what you have to do is change the feelings in your body. I explained that. And the only way you can do that is through saying positive self-talk about yourself out loud. I've said that. Okay. So if you say positive self-talk out loud with meaning, you will always be able to beat and conquer the little guy in your head. And this will allow your kid to always play in the present and not get in his or her own way. I'm telling you, I learned this later in my career. I wish I learned it early in my career because I did well for myself, but like this is a game changer. And this is what's helping a lot of my players because now they're going out there and they know how to combat that little guy. So now They are playing in the present, like I said, and they're not playing safe. They're not being soft, as some baseball players would say. Their mind is strong, and even if they get out or anything, they and I'm gonna talk more about that. If they get out, their mind is strong, and they go up the next at bat, and they're just like, let's go. And then it's like boom, 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 driving balls, And it's like, it's almost like the Derek Jeter mentality, where you're just even kill every time, but that means you're just strong mentally. So last thing, let's say you get out or have a bad outing. For example, let's say you strike out or make an error. What you want to say to yourself out loud is, no, that's not me. That's not what I do. That's not the player I am, and move on. So, let's say, you're doing your audios. You made your audio, you made your mental game mindset audio, and you get out. What you want to say is, that's not me. Right when you get out or you strike out, that's not me. That's not what I do. You just said, that's not what I do. That's not the type of player I am. Say that. And that basically you're not giving in to that, what's going on. You get it? You get it. So now when you get a hit on the other side, you strike someone out or even make a routine play, you should say to yourself out loud, that's the player I am. That's exactly what I do. So once you get a hit, you say it out loud. That's the player I am. That's exactly what I do. And you see how I said it with feeling, with meaning? What happens? You start to do it over and over and over, because you're basically creating an identity to yourself of that's what you do. So I'm telling you, this is gold right here. Always positively reinforce the things you do well as a player and positive parts of your game. And if you have a bad outing, say out loud, that's not what you do as a player. What this does is keep the player in the right mindset, the winner's mindset, the all-star mindset, the confident mindset. This is how you separate yourself, because like I said, you're dominating the little guy in your head. You're staying present. You have a positive body image, and you're just playing you're giving yourself a chance to play at your full potential consistently, because you're in the right frame of mind, right? You know what I'm saying? So, let's keep it going. So optional, you can add pictures into your text for imagery and read the text / visualize before listening to yourself. Tell yourself you are a very good baseball player. This could be a total of 10 minutes. Imagery is an athlete's best friend. So, what I would do is I created pictures. So I wrote it all out, and then I put pictures in the parts of it. So let's say right here it says, let's say you say, I am a consistent hitter. Then you can put a pic of a player that is a consistent hitter. So for example, say Christian Yelich, and visualize yourself hitting as consistent as him. So you said, I am a consistent hitter. Then there's a picture of Christian Yelich. And then you visualize yourself being a consistent hitter like him. And what I would do is, this is optional. You don't have to do it, but I read it first with all the pictures and everything. And then I would listen to myself and I would agree. So I would visualize when I was reading and seeing all the people. And I'm going to show you in a second. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek, a quick one of mine. And then you'll be able to, see, you'll be able to do this on your own. But this is how I got to the big leagues. I wrote out, I'm going to be a big league player by this time. I wrote like all my goals. I wrote everything about myself. I literally jotted down everything. And then I would read it in the morning. Midday, I was reading it, and right before bed, I would read it. And then I'll also listen to the audios right after reading it and seeing it visually. I'm telling you, this works wonders, man. I'm telling you this. I'm all for this. This is, if there's anything from this course you need to take this. Okay. And if you don't know what this, the player secrets, I walk you through it. I walk your kid through it, and you'll be able to do this. So also optional, you want to add fun stuff into your mental game mindset guide. for example, in my sneak peek of my mindset guide, which I'm going to give it to you in a second, I'm going to show you I added the nay and the monkey dance in it. I don't even know what the monkey dance is, but I called it the monkey dance. But if you guys remember the nay, you remember that little dance? Well, that's what I put into my sentence, or my mental game mindset guide, where I wrote it all out, explaining who I was as a player. And so remember that dance, nay, I said it. Remember that dance, nay. Anyways, every time I would get a hit, I would turn to my team and do the nay. So I would get a hit, go to first base, and I'd be like that to my team. And my team, oh man, so every time I got up to the plate, my team would be waiting for me to get a hit to do the dance. So they literally be on the edge of the dugout waiting for me, because I just made it fun again. I made baseball fun again. At the highest levels, it becomes like a job, and it's a gentleman sport. But I was kind of not in the right mindset. So I was like, let me put this in there and start doing it and make it fun again, make the game fun. And sure enough, I'll get a hit and I'll turn to my dugout and I'll be like, oh, and I started like dancing. And my teammates started doing it back, and everybody be like, hey, you know, they were having a blast. And what did that make me want to do as a player? Get hits. I wanted to get hits. I was so addicted to that, and my team will always be on the edge of the dugout. So I wanted to get hits. So I literally started dreaming about it. I started to crave hits because I wanted to do the dance. So now that's something that you and your son/daughter can do together. Create something fun between you two. And when he or she gets a hit, you could do the dance, or he could do the dance. And like I said, just have fun with it. It could be something that you guys do together. But what that does is that gets them in a frame of mind to always want to get that goal, that reward, positive reinforcement. So I figured out a way to hijack my brain to get results. I wasn't trying to get results, but I wanted it. I craved it. And so what that allowed me to do, focus more. It allowed me to, be on my game. And like I said, I would literally hit a ball, hit a double, hit a single, whatever I did. And I was like, oh, like that in front and right in the, right at first base. And then I started doing like other dances, like the monkey dance. I don't even know what that was. I was just like, doing stuff, and my whole team was like, hey, and everybody was just having a blast, And like I said, I got addicted to it. I wanted to hit. I wanted to get more hits. I wanted to get more doubles because everybody was involved, and I wanted to do that dance. I know it sounds weird, but this thing works like no other. So like I said, be creative. You can make it between you and your son or daughter, and have fun with it. You don't have to do the dance. You could do something else. Maybe he's doing this or whatever it is. You guys can figure something out, and keep it light, keep it fun. But that's going to allow that kid to want to get hits, want to crave it, And if they don't get a hit, that's fine. If they got the right mindset, like I explained in all of this, then they're going to be strong minded, and then they'll be getting the hits sooner than later. So here's a sneak peek of mine, of my mindset guide that I created. I call it the Positive SelfTalk Magazine or something like that. I just made the name up. I created that put me in the right mindset to reach my childhood dream and become an all-star. But before I do, listen to one of the players who has signed to go play D1 baseball at the University of Richmond in Virginia. He said, I share with this with him, and he said, I think it has helped me with my confidence and trusting my own ability. Also, they helped me realize the work I put in will pay off, and I have to trust in that when it gets to the game time. I thought the audios themselves put me in a good, competitive, and driven mindset. So this is a D1 player. He uses it. He loves it. It's working for him, and he's getting results. I think I'm telling you, if there's anything, take this, implement it, take the time to work on it. It's going to take you a little bit of time, but you do this and have your kid listen to it. Conquer that little guy, conquer the mental game, and then the sky's the limit. sky's the limit. Right now, I'm going to share with you my little self-talk, just a little bit. So here it is right here. Like I said, I called the SelfTalk Magazine. And as you can see, the first line says, I am a Major League Baseball player. And I have the sign of the Major League Baseball logo. I am a winner. I am talented. I am a hard worker. I am lucky. I take advantage of opportunities. And you see how I'm saying it? I'm saying it like it's true, you know? And then as it go down, let's say it says, I am a 10-year Major League Baseball player and a 5-year straight MLB All-Star. And you see them all lined up right there. And I visualize myself on that line in the All-Star game, just seeing myself there. I could like see the crowd. I can, you know, I'm there with the national anthem, and you know, I'm getting goosebumps, you know, like visualize the whole thing. If you look down, it says, I am a MLB MVP, and it has Barry Bonds. And I visualize myself holding that sign up. Another thing it has here says, I am the greatest, and has Muhammad Ali. And so, you know, Muhammad Ali always said, I am the greatest. So I have a picture of him, and I visualize myself doing that. So as you already know, that's it. Just a quick little sneak peek. Like I said, in my other course, I walk the kids through it, in Player Secrets, so that they can learn how to do this. And, you know, they're going to be able to make their own and become successful with it. Before we end this, if you want the hitter's cheat sheet, link will be in the description below. So since you finished this video, if you click over here, you have swing breakdowns of MLB players such as Barry Bonds. And then if you go over here, you'll see subscribers breakdowns, where I break down, you know, people just like you who want to get better. So if you're interested in either one, click that video, and I'll see you in the next video.